Did I or did I not chase my dreams this week? Let's find out. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? Hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. So I get to try a lot of new running shoes on this channel, obviously, but the thing that makes me most excited is trying a brand new shoe, either from a new brand or from a brand that's just jumping into the running shoe industry altogether. So that's why when I saw that Rabbit, typically a running apparel company, was diving into the running shoe game, I had to try the shoe. So I kindly asked them to send me a pair, and here we are with the Rabbit Dream Chaser. This blue and yellow colorway that I have here was created for the Boston Marathon. Obviously, I know that Rabbit was selling quite a few of these shoes during Boston Marathon weekend, so if you were lucky to pick up a pair, good for you. And I think it's pretty cool that they paid tribute to such a cool and iconic race. Before we dive into the specifics on the Dream Chaser, I do want to ask that if you are not subscribed to this channel, if you could please go and do that. I'm trying to get to 30K by the end of the year. Might be a long shot, but it's worth a try. So with your help, maybe I can get there. And if one video a week on YouTube is not enough for you, then I suggest you go follow me on Instagram. It's just more running content, more life content, shoe content, all the content that we like to consume. Go follow me there at Run Like Heller. I think Rabbit wanted to create a simple daily trainer that's going to be comfortable for all kinds of mileage, something that you can do your regular runs in, longer, easier runs, and maybe even some tempo work if you want to throw it into, an everyday sort of run. I think that's what this shoe was meant for, and they wanted it to be simple and comfortable and all of the things that a daily trainer should be. So today we're going to talk about whether or not I had this experience with the Dream Chaser. We'll get down to the nitty-gritty of it all, but before we do, you gotta watch the run footage where the specs for the shoe will also be posted. My disclaimer before every good old video that I make is that this shoe was sent to me by Rabbit, the company, and they are not going to see this video before you. They cannot tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always my own on YouTube and everywhere else that I make content. Let us begin with the upper of the Rabbit Dream Chaser. Rabbit is using a knit material for their upper here. They say it's minimal layers of recycled polyester. As you might be able to tell here, this shoe does have a toe cap in that forefoot area to just give you a little extra protection, and there is some perforation in that forefoot for breathability. Moving on to the midfoot of the Dream Chaser, there really aren't overlays per se, but there is more structure to the knit in that midfoot to give you a better lockdown. And in the back, the heel counter is also fairly sturdy. So right off the bat, the very first thing I notice about the Dream Chaser's upper is just how comfortable it is. When you slip your foot into it, it feels nice and soft on top of your foot, and I like this material that they've used for the knit. I'm usually not a big knit fan when it comes to uppers, but here in the Dream Chaser, I can kind of get down with it. The forefoot of the shoe does have a little bit of give and stretch, which I think will be accommodating to different foot types. But I will say I have a narrow foot, and I did have to cinch these a little extra to get that proper fit. The tongue is pretty minimal, but still comfortable, and it is gusseted just to, again, help with that fit across the midfoot. And another thing that I liked about this upper was that they did provide cushioning around the ankle collar of the shoe, but they also gave you some inside of there as well, so you just get an extra hug around that heel. As far as breathability goes, I think it's fine. I don't think it's going to be the most breathable daily trainer out there on the market, but I also don't think it's going to be the worst. It sits in the middle. One thing I will say though is that I ran in this shoe, and it's not very hot out today. It's actually kind of cold. I ran in it today and it's still a little bit wet and sweaty from my foot. So I think maybe this material might collect sweat a little bit. I'm interested to see what this feels like on an even hotter day. And the last nitpicky thing I'll say is that while I do like this knit upper, I feel like it kind of lacks a little bit of structure. I know that they did try to make more structure in that midfoot with the thicker material, but I think for somebody like me who overpronates a bit, it doesn't help my foot when it moves around. It kind of doesn't hold me in as well as I'd like. That being said, I think Rabbit did a really nice job here with this upper for a debut shoe. I also didn't have any hot spots, blisters, or irritation in the upper of the Dream Chaser. So Rabbit, get snaps for this upper. Moving on down to the midsole of the Rabbit Dream Chaser. Rabbit is using a full slab of their Flow State foam here. Flow State is apparently an eTPU foam. They believe that this foam gives you a cushion feel but also maintains a lightweight package. And Rabbit is also really excited about their insoles in the Dream Chaser. It is 85% recycled eTPU foam as well. And they say that these insoles are guaranteed to last 10 times longer than their competitors. I don't know how or what kind of testing they did to determine that, but that is what they say. The other thing to talk about in the midsole, and also kind of outsole as well, are these two little carbon slabs here that they're calling carbon tracks. Rabbit says that these carbon tracks are going to help to better center you and potentially energize your stride. So that's a lot that we just went over. How does this shoe feel to run in? Do all these technologies make sense together? How does it feel? I took this out on predominantly easy runs because that's just been my vibe lately, but I did put some strides in there here and there to obviously see how this shoe performs faster. The very first thing that I will say about the foam of this shoe is that it is very soft. And I love a soft shoe. So automatically it was a point in my book. And there was some energy return. I wouldn't say that this is the most responsive midsole type that you're gonna get, but it was very comfortable and it didn't feel dead to me. I definitely think that because of how soft this midsole is, that people are gonna feel just fine taking this out on longer double-digit runs for sure. But I also think that the foam is comfortable enough that if you are just getting into running and you want a shoe to try, this is a pretty good shoe for an entry-level runner as well. So I think people's main question is going to be, how do these carbon tracks feel? What do they do when you're running? I will be honest, I did notice these a bit while I was running and I don't know if I loved it. I don't know if it worked great for me. So the first thing that I noticed was that I could hear these carbon tracks hitting the pavement, which was kind of odd. It felt a little bit like I was wearing a tap dancing shoe at some times. And I'm a really big midfoot striker, so I was just hitting these things quite a bit, and they're a little bit worn because of that. You can see here, they're definitely getting a big beating. I did also notice what Rabbit said, that they're trying to stabilize you on the platform. I felt that, but I don't know if I really liked that feeling. At times, I don't know if it was just because of the carbon tracks, but I was feeling a little bit of discomfort on both sides of my feet, like when I would first start running in this shoe. And then I guess once my foot adapted to those carbon tracks, that feeling kind of went away. It was a little uncomfy. Just because I didn't like the carbon tracks doesn't mean you won't. If you're looking for some stability in a generally neutral shoe, then those could very well be the trick for you. But to me, I think if they got rid of the carbon tracks and just had this shoe as it is without them, it would be fantastic. However, when I had to pick up the pace a little in this shoe, I felt like this midsole did a really nice job of keeping me up on my toes. It didn't feel like a slog like some daily trainers do. So overall, I think that I mostly like this midsole package. I like the Flow State foam. I think they should keep using that. I even think the insole is pretty good. I just don't know if I love the carbon tracks or if that's really a technology that I get down with. Moving on down to the outsole. Rabbit is using a 15% recycled rubber material here for the outsole. We have a nice perimeter of that rubber throughout the shoe basically, minus where the carbon tracks are. And then in the center is exposed flow state foam. As far as traction goes, I think this shoe does a nice job of gripping onto that pavement. I have taken it on some wetter-ish days. I didn't feel like it was slipping out from under me, and it really did what it needed to do in terms of keeping me upright and confident in my stride. Now, some of that yellow paint is coming off a little bit on the outsole. If you can see, I think that's probably just cosmetic and not anything to really worry about. I'll see how it gets over time. And then that midsole foam in the middle that's exposed is a little bit worn, but it's not too terrible. Time will tell. So far, I'd say we're doing pretty well. Now for price, the Rabbit Dream Chaser is $160 on their website. Right now, the Boston colorway is the only colorway available. I believe they still have some sizes left for both women and men. And then I believe in June, more colorways are gonna be really launching of this shoe. So I'm excited to see what those other colorways are, because I probably wouldn't wear this color casually, but maybe like a nice white or some more neutral colors would help this shoe to also be one of those shoes that you can just take with you to be casual in, but also to run in. So like a great traveling shoe. I'll put links in the description of this video so you can click those and pick up your own pair if you're interested. Those won't be affiliate links, so it doesn't matter for me. I just want to make it easier for you to find this shoe if you're willing to give it a shot. I think this is a really good debut shoe for a brand that knows running apparel so well. It's nice to see that they also understand how to make a functional running shoe. If this is their debut shoe, I am very excited to see what's to come for Rabbit in the running shoe game. Is the Rabbit Dream Chaser a shoe that you want to get your hands on? Did you get your hands on a pair in Boston? Have you been running in them? Do you like them? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Well, everyone, that concludes this video on the Rabbit Dream Chaser. If you enjoyed it, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. Of course, I gotta know, what do you guys think of the look of this shoe? You into it? Not so much? What do you think? I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like heller. See you next time.